Want to unlock your ambitious self? Stop chasing motivation because science says willpower is the key. Did you know exposure to high levels of dopamine, such as Netflix and social media, can actually reduce dopamine receptors, killing your motivation? Learn how to ditch the distractions and harness your willpower to achieve your ambitious goals and overcome laziness. We all have dreams, right? Big, exciting goals we want to achieve. But sometimes getting started feels impossible. That's where the struggle between ambition and laziness kicks in. You're not alone if you feel this way. Many ambitious people face this problem. Understanding the psychology behind it can help you beat it. First, let's talk about motivation. It's not some magical force that suddenly appears. It is more about consistent effort, a skill you can train which takes time and effort. It all starts with taking action consistently. Instead of chasing grand inspirations, focus on building strong habits. Willpower is your best friend here. Now about those distractions. Our modern world is full of them. Social media, streaming services, they all give us quick hits of dopamine. Dopamine is a chemical in our brain that makes us feel good. But too much of these quick hits can actually make us less motivated in the long run. It's a cycle of pleasure, then guilt, then more pleasure to avoid the guilt. The key is to reduce these superstimuli. Less Netflix, less scrolling, more focused activity. What's the alternative? What should we do instead of spending time glued to our screens? Try to find flow activities. These are things that challenge you but also keep you engaged. Think of a time when you are so involved in something that you forgot everything. That's being in a flow state. It could be playing a sport, working on a creative project, or even having a deep conversation. The point is to find activities that are both enjoyable and help you to grow. The goals of finding enjoyable activity can lead to self-improvement and high self-esteem. But also, it is also crucial to define your personal meaning of success, because without that, it is hard to remain motivated to reach the goals. It can be money, power, and/or good relationships with friends and family members. So it's more of a personal thing to prioritize. It's essential to reframe how you think about failure. Many ambitious people are also perfectionists. They put so much pressure on themselves that they are scared of failing, which causes them to procrastinate. Understand that failure is a chance to learn and grow, so don't set unrealistically high expectations. Break big tasks into manageable steps, find your intrinsic motivation. And reward yourself when you make progress and complete tasks successfully. Try to be more self-compassionate. Speaking of procrastination, what is it and how do we overcome it? It isn't about being lazy, but a way of coping with tough emotions linked with certain tasks. It's often linked with boredom, insecurity, resentment, and/or self-doubt. Also, it's helpful to practice self-compassion and acceptance during these moments, and it is also important to take responsibility for our actions when procrastination occurs to implement solutions. You see, as a high achiever with already high standards for yourself, you don't want to mess up anything. But also, it's important to be mindful of the emotions you are avoiding with procrastination so that you can try to use the right strategies to get you going with that task. Do you ever feel like you are tricking people into thinking you are more skilled than you are? This is called imposter syndrome. A lot of people experience this, especially high-achieving people. It can hold you back in your career if you don't truly understand your own capabilities and have constant self-doubt. Self-doubt includes both comfort and second-guessing, but unhealthy self-doubt comes when it's paralyzing you and affecting your behaviors. Remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes and that negative thoughts aren't facts. Talk to a mentor or a therapist to work through these feelings and start being more confident. Remember, lasting change takes time. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate small wins. Build a supportive environment. And most importantly, keep learning and growing. This way, you can stay on track with your big life goals. Lastly, it might also be helpful to work on the mindset because in order to be productive and not lazy, you might require the proper mindset that will help to get your willpower and motivation going. A few points that are important to have include preventing vices, making action plans, being patient with you, not holding yourself to an unrealistic expectation, and taking good care of yourself. Also, the point is that in order to achieve momentum, you might just have to sit and start doing to create some inspiration and get to work. It's better to start with 5 minutes of work a day to slowly build up than to make yourself do 5-10 HRS of work every day when you don't have momentum and end up quitting eventually. In short, always try to find strategies and tactics that are sustainable. But let's address one last point that hasn't been talked about yet, which is to not compare yourself with others and focus more on the internal dashboard yourself, not the external leaderboard other people. It is better to drive your car safely knowing that there are people who are driving faster or slower than yourself than to drive recklessly. Because if you focus on improving yourself, that is more likely to be productive for yourself. This will allow you to achieve inner happiness. While we've covered a lot in this video, the journey of ambition and overcoming laziness is a personal one. There are so many factors to consider, and things like work, relationships, career success, and relationships all require some amount of work. We can't also ignore that for each person that there might be limitations. Some people may not know who to get a mentor or not being able to afford therapy. These may be a real reason and not something easy to work around. Also, this video hasn't talked about potential issues with mental health that might occur in a person when they have constant laziness and lack of motivation. And these require separate and distinct procedures. Not to mention, the issue of sleep is highly ignored, which can affect person's life greatly. However, there are lots of tips and strategies that were given, but many more that could be explored to figure out what works for a person. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to keep watching more of such videos.